Well, this may come as a surprise to my viewers, but as a fellow Australian, I'm not a huge Jimmy Barnes fan. Hi people, and how my Chili Carnage crew, it's Chili here, the man who designed from my eyes, doing a 5-minute review on Jimmy Barnes' newest album, Defiant. Yes, you heard that right, I'm not exactly a huge Jimmy Barnes fan. Never have been. Still, I don't mind a fair few of his songs, and of course the works he did with Cold Chisel. That being said, this Aussie and Scottish icon does have some great tunes that I won't deny are awesome, and if you are a Yank who is watching this episode wondering who the hell Jimmy Barnes actually is, then I pity you. A quick history lesson, but basically Jimmy Barnes should be as big as AC/DC. You see, Jimmy Barnes cut his teeth in the late 70s and 80s with his band Cold Chisel, delivering a style of pub rock not too dissimilar to, of course, Midnight Oil, but with a certain straightforward rock and roll panache, if you will. A grandiose feel, aided by their storytelling, and lacking most local geopolitical statements, as opposed to Midnight Oil. Hits like Khe-Sanh, a story about a helicopter pilot who was a Vietnam veteran who returns to his country only to find that his country has shunned him due to his service as he joins a mundane job flying workers to and from oil rigs in his helicopter, while of course yearning of his youth have become rather synonymous to Australia's music scene. But the band unfortunately dropped the ball, and this is due to a myriad of reasons, partially being blacklisted by American management who they just did not like due to the rampant drug usage that they were trying to push on the band. Perhaps due to this reason and a few other ones, the band really just imploded at the end of the day as they were really just about to make it big. It's really quite a shame because it could have been the next big export between AC/DC and Crocodile Dundee, but I guess most would know him for the meme that circulated a few years ago. Yeah, a bit of a low ball, but I know Jimmy Barnes is overlooked in the States as his crowd draws massive numbers here and would come to surprise those outside of our borders, equaling to the likes of, say, Guns N' Roses at large festivals. But at least a few music outlets have stood up and taken notice of his works over time, such as Mitch Lofen. Regardless, he has carved out his own solo career, and this album is his 21st studio album release as a solo musician. Even after years of substance abuse, with stories of drinking several bottles of wine and vodka before shows, and even going through heart surgery only 2 years ago, he still has such a powerful and recognisable voice after all this time. This newest effort doesn't hold back any of the charm that fans of the musician can expect, as this record follows suit to his style of music, which he has become, well, once again, so synonymous for writing. And this is a fine record to listen to. From the opener track, That's What You Do for Love, we know what we are in for. Another classic Jimmy Barnes album with its deeply rooted sound and storytelling. The tales continue on to the next song as well, as New Day tells Jimmy Barnes how he has turned a corner in his life and really isn't the same guy that he was back then, which has been true for quite some time now, as he has been very candid in interviews about his past lifestyles compared to the days he's living now. It's a nice song that details how the sun is shining brighter for him, and he should be very proud for bettering himself. Now, his style of pub rock with pianos continues throughout the album's duration, and while most of the album has its high energy moments, it does also slow down the pace for the title track. However, Jimmy's signature banshee-like snarls show us why this song was chosen for the namesake of the album, and you can't help but feel empowered when you are hearing this tune. Now, while the first half of the album is certifiable bangers, I can't exactly say the transition between the title track to the following song, The Long Road, feels justified or warranted. It almost feels like Jimmy was about to try his luck at that cowboy screaming at the mountains meme again with this country twang, and I gotta say, Jimmy, your voice and style is not suited to this genre. Let it be. Unfortunately, he does not heed this advice, as the next tune is equally skippable as he produces a country square dance style song with his vocals over the top, and you can really feel a lull in the album at this point. While this is not a faultless album, it is more of an intriguing one, and I certainly enjoyed this effort when I played through it, not really skipping any tracks on here. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 7 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Defiant, That's What You Do for Love, and New Day. To me, Jimmy Barnes is like the Australian version of Bruce Springsteen, both in songwriting and lyrics, as his music has that big band kind of feel, usually accompanied by a piano sections and a sound to fit for stadium-sized crowds. I think that's the easiest way to describe the musician to anyone who hasn't heard him before, and if you haven't, I highly recommend that you do so. This album could serve as a solid introduction to his works, but I'm sure fans would suggest something else like Working Class Hero or something, I don't know, from the 80s. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on this album if you've listened to it, and as always, stay spicy out there. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.